So as soon as I upload the video, it comes to me what I was going to talk about next. Probably the reason I was drawing a blank was because while it was related to the LOL Illuminati guy, it was not directly related to what I was talking about Valentine's Day, and about how it's fucked up, how we deal with relationships in society. And by the way, Valentine's Day is pretty much like every other pagan holiday. It originates in orgies and molesting little boys, but that was like every day for pagans, so there's nothing really to say there. But what I want to talk about is how LOL Illuminati had on his Ring of Friends John Galt. Yes, the main character from Atlas Shrugged. And are you fucking stupid? Did you completely forget that Atlas Shrugged was like the diary of the Illuminati? It was the diary of the rich elite that suggested that they are entitled to stepping on the poor. It couldn't be any more blatant. They thought that the poor were unfit to exist on this planet, that they were breathing the richest air, and that they were taking up unnecessary space, and that they were all moochers and looters. That's how Ayn Rand described them. And they were ungrateful swine that did not appreciate the rich's superior intellect and talent. That's exactly how she wrote it, word for word. And this would make you cringe even if it was just a purely fictional novel. But it was not just fiction and an exploration of evil. This is what she actually believed. That's some scary ass shit. I would prefer to be sleeping naked in a room with Jeffrey Dahmer and Charles Manson than hang around a bunch of objectivists and libertarian pseudo-intellectuals. Because clearly, they are the most deranged of deranged. Ironically, when I say that about Jeffrey Dahmer and Charles Manson, Ayn Rand did have a bromance for a serial killer. And that's something else to consider. She thought that was the pinnacle of manhood, a serial killer. Ironically, I don't think a serial killer would have put up with her shit. After the first couple of times she went on a bitch fest about something and was cheating on him like she did with her real husband, he would have killed her. He would have, snuck some extra sleeping pills into her drink because Ayn Rand was an alcoholic and drug addict. She would have slowly passed into a coma, and as her ugly-ass pussy got wet, as her serial killer husband gave her that cold-ass serial killer stare, she would think about, ooh, that's a sexy beast, that's the pinnacle of manhood, he's a self-sufficient man, and doesn't take no for an answer, and she would just drop into a coma and die. Because he would not have put up with some cheating whore getting the one-up on him. So, isn't that ironic? But that's how the world is now. It's a dog-eat-dog world. That's what we condone. We condone people eating each other. And nobody wants to see the wrong in that. And, at knowing that, and he adds fucking John Galt to his list of friends. Are you fucking kidding me? That's just... I can't rationalize that. I can't even... Yeah, no. Yeah, it's going black here. Because there is absolutely no way you can justify that. Especially when, in one of his posts, he condemns Zeitgeist. He says that Zeitgeist is, the subplot of the Luciferian mindset to make us all accept the New World Order. But Atlas Shrugged isn't. When Atlas Shrugged is basically the playbook for the rich elite bankers and purposely ruining the economy so that we sink into a Great Depression that there is no escape from, and society collapses, there's anarchy in the streets, burning down of houses, and everyone's getting violent, punching each other and crap, and the rich are safely tucked away in their bunkers or on the moon or whatever science fiction crap they had at that time, and just wait for things to die down and decrease the population and watch them squabble and kill each other and laugh at the stupid poor people doing it. And then when things start to die down, you come back, you exploit what is left of the proletariat, and let them slave away while you get to continue living your rich lifestyle. That's what it's all about. It's about how the rich are not only entitled to having bigger houses, tastier food, better beds to sleep in, and a more enjoyable life with less actual work involved, but not only that, but they feel entitled to setting the circumstances that completely slaughter the poor or put them in unwinnable situations because they can do no wrong, because they are the elite. And they are the elite because they say so. Because by what measure are you superior? How are you superior just because maybe you're smarter or because maybe you have a good idea? There are different types of intelligence. There are different ways that you can be constructive and beneficiary to society. So how do you determine what makes you better strictly? The only way you can be better than someone is if you are more moral than somebody. And if you're more moral than somebody, then you're not interested in being better than them. You are interested in bettering yourself and the world around you. So it makes no sense to dwell on this elitist mentality. That not even fascism does that. Not even Mussolini and Hitler did that. Even in their own twisted way, they were altruists. And Ayn Rand said that herself. She said, this is what the state does, and that's why the state is bad. But that's pretty sad when you are more evil than fucking Hitler. Where, even Hitler wanted what was best for humanity in his own corrupt way. He wanted a master race. He wanted, this beacon of godhood in man form. And while it was insane, while it was completely inconceivable and just, batshit, there's no way that's going to happen. And while he killed millions of people for this blind ideology, at least he can say that he did it for some kind of greater good. But Ayn Rand, and all her evil, and all the evil that she encourages, is not for greater good. It is for yourself. And supposedly, yourself, your ego, is the greatest good. That's some twisted... Ayn Rand would be the devil incarnate. If you want to imagine what the Antichrist, or what the devil in human form would look like, it would be Ayn Rand. But luckily, Ayn Rand was not nearly as successful as her fantasies made her out to be. Despite how in her books, these people were, inventors and architects and people of great stature. Ayn Rand herself was nothing more than a blowhard. She was nothing more than someone that's talked out of her asshole and people just happen to listen because people are fucking retarded. Ayn Rand was just the Bill O'Reilly of her time. And even Bill O'Reilly is nowhere near the kind of beast Ayn Rand was. I'm just making an example here. And ironically, I bet Bill O'Reilly probably faps to Ayn Rand. But, like I said, it takes a lot to reach that level of evil. Moderators are pretty much in that category, but that's because they live the life of Ayn Rand. They live that life of feeling entitled to doing bad things to other people simply because they can. Because they feel like it's their duty, like it's their right to do that. And, you can't reason with something like that. You cannot bargain with that, nor should you have to. You have to attack evil like that. Because there is no way they're going to change. You cannot avoid that. That is what evil looks like. That's why I say there is good and evil. That much she got right. A is A. There is absolutes. But she was on the wrong side of those absolutes. And there isn't a fucking conservative alive that's willing to admit that. So, that's all I wanted to say about part 2. Where, this guy claims to be anti-Illuminati, but yet, gets a boner for Ayn Rand, and says bad things about Muslims, which are as much of a victim of the Illuminati as any of us. He praises pagan holidays, which have evil roots and evil consequences even today. But supposedly he's anti-Illuminati. We're just supposed to take his word for it, because he has the pyramid with the eye in it, the Eye of Horus, or whatever you call it, because he has that symbol in his avatar, and, he mentions the Illuminati, and they're bad. Ooh, he's on our side. He's fighting the good fight. That's even fucking David Icke does a better lie than that. And trust me, David Icke is one of the most despicable lowlives on this planet. If anyone reaches the level of Ayn Rand evil that she does herself, it's fucking David Icke. David Icke is a piece of shit, and he should be hanged on a rope. And everyone talks about how David Icke puts himself at risk and shit. Why hasn't the Illuminati killed him if he's exposing them? It makes no sense. What? You think that by killing David Icke, suddenly all the conspiracy theorists are going to revolt? I would love to see that. I would honestly pay to see the fucking conspiracy theorist neckbeards get up and get armed and do something, because killing David Icke was the straw that broke the camel's back. It's not going to happen. They didn't do anything before, they aren't going to do anything now, they are never going to do anything later. It doesn't matter what happens. So, that's completely irrelevant. They went after the WikiLeaks guy, so you're going to tell me that, they can go after the WikiLeaks guy, but they can't go after David Icke because supposedly that would be too obvious. You're fucking insane. You are either insane or you're so evil that you just don't care. And you think you can lie to my face and that I'm just an idiot and I'm going to believe you. And, so that's what I have to say on this subject matter. There's a lot of evil in the world, and their arrogance is so astounding that they think you're just so stupid that they can say whatever, and you'll be like, oh, that's true. No, none of it's true. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a fucking lie. Everything that comes out of David Icke or Alex Jones or Godlike Productions or anyone that claims to be on your side, trying to tell you the truth, unhook you from the Matrix, is a fucking liar. Maybe occasionally they say something true, something that's going on in the news, something that the rich elite assholes have been plotting. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's probably just a half-truth. It's probably just something they want you to hear, or something that they know will make them money and get them viewers, or it's something they've pre-constructed and blemished to fit their own nefarious purposes. They have their own ulterior motives. Everyone has their own motives. That much is for certain. I am not suggesting that Zeitgeist or the Venus Project or any of them do not have their own, ulterior motives and their own reasons for doing what they do. They wouldn't have gone this far and worked this hard for nothing. They wouldn't just do it to do it. They've got their own conspiracies going on. They've got plans. But what I want to know is whether or not their plans infringe upon my First Amendment, my freedom of speech, my freedom to think. Because supposedly Luciferians believe in enlightenment, and that Lucifer wanted to make us smarter and make us more open to the world, and that they believe in an evil God that wants to keep us dumbed down and in a slave mentality, and that Lucifer's like Prometheus and wants to help us get away from that. Well, if that's true, why is it all Luciferians are moderators? Why is it Luciferians call for banning people and suppressing freedom of thought? Makes no sense, does it? Doesn't have to make sense. They're evil. They want to shut you up because you're in opposition to them, or because they don't like you. You don't even have to be in direct opposition to them. I could agree with somebody all of the fucking time, and they would still ban me because they just don't like my attitude, or they were having a bad day. That's what that sense of entitlement does to you. Nothing fucking matters to them. It is pure nihilism, and they just figure they can do what they want, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're never going to do anything back to them, so therefore, what are the consequences? What's the incentive for them not to do it? That's why you got to do something. I don't know what that is, but you got to do something, because it won't get better otherwise. And, you know, you can say whatever bullshit you want. You can say all day long about how, you know, David Icke's telling us what's really going on in the world. But he doesn't care about you. And he certainly doesn't care about your rights. Because if he did, he wouldn't fucking ban anybody. He wouldn't go around slandering people and proclaiming that everyone he bans is either a troll, an agent provocateur, a reptile, or some other bullshit. He is there to make money. He is there to form a cult that worships him, sucks his dick, and revolves around him because he's a narcissistic, petty little man. And most likely just a man. Not a reptilian, not a demon from Planet X, just a man. A very despicable man, but a man nonetheless. And men have to sleep, eat, and shit just like every other man. So he needs to get off his fucking high horse and remember to respect people's rights. Because as men, we have them. And if he doesn't believe we have them, we should not respect his rights and we should trample him. So that's all I have to say for now.